evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fight for Our Freedom Radio. And I'm your host, Badbaby. And tonight I'm going to call my show, What in the Wild, Wild, Wacky World is Going On? Because I've got some wild, wild, wacky things to talk about. All righty then. All right, like I said, tonight's show, because I don't have a guest, I'm going to be talking about what in the world is going on in our wacky, wild, wild world. And I have some stories that I'm going to cover that are just going to make you go, no, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that's what I kept saying when I was looking at it all today. And the first story that I'm going to bring out to you guys is about a woman Muslim doctor that was arrested in Detroit, Michigan by the FBI yesterday, and she was charged with carrying out female genital mutilation on multiple 6- and 8-year-old little girls at her Livonia, Michigan office, just 14 miles from the Muslim capital of America in Dearborn, Michigan. So how in the world is this able to even happen in the United States? And I just wonder how many children she has mutilated. From what I had read in this article, she was cutting off the clitoris and the vulva of these little girls. Now, I don't understand. Are the people that were bringing their daughters there, were they Muslim children or were they just regular children? I don't know. But obviously she got caught, the FBI arrested her, and we will see what happens to her. Hopefully they hang her high. I just can't believe something like this could happen in the United States. But, every day they're giving our children vaccines and making them have seizures. I had a posting on my Facebook page today from a lady in Australia. So I want to warn everybody again about the human papillomatovirus vaccine. She took her 13-year-old little girl in, and she knew that people were having complications with that vaccine in the United States, but she figured, I live in Australia. That won't happen here. And she let her daughter get the vaccination. Well, the little girl is crippled now. She actually put a YouTube video up of this child. She was laying in her bed just crying and sobbing and said she was in pain, couldn't lift her legs. And the woman wrote all about what she went through, how she, trusted the doctors because she was in Australia, and she figured it was safe for her daughter. Well, guess what, folks? It doesn't matter what country you're in. It's a vaccine, that children have been having all kinds of complications. They gave it to some girl over here in Canada, and she's completely crippled and was in a coma for a couple years. So, it didn't matter that she was in Canada. I just can't believe, even though these people know that these vaccines are toxic, it's the old story. Oh, well, that can't happen to me. And she put the video up. I mean, I was in tears watching her daughter because she was trying to put a cold rag underneath the back of her leg saying, let me lift your leg. And every time she touched the child's leg, that girl was just screaming. And she was sobbing and crying all through the whole video. And she said, my daughter doesn't ever stop crying. She's never not in pain. And she said, I know this video is hard to watch, but I want to put it up here to warn other people. Please don't let them give them to your daughter. And I posted it on my page. I copied it and posted it. And I just put up there, people, please quit poisoning your children. I don't care what country you live in. Don't sit there and think, that won't happen to me, and then be sorry afterwards. I could tell the mother was, felt terrible. She was on her hands and knees on the side of the bed, kept asking her daughter, is there anything I can do? And the daughter was getting angry with her, like, no, just leave me alone. I'm hurting, And I thought, yeah, there's something you could do, not be so stupid and take your kid in there and have pump him full of poison. So I hope to God that this, gets heard by other women out there. Please don't take your daughter in or your son, because I read that they're starting to give that vaccine to the teenage boys now. And who knows what it'll do to them. From what I read about it, it's supposed to be making them sterile. So regardless, you're playing Russian roulette with your children's life. Tell the doctor, let me see you give yourself that shot first. See how far that goes with them. But anyways, that's my big rant about the vaccines tonight. And I was supposed to have Robert was supposed to come in and co-host with me tonight. I don't know where he is. He hasn't gotten back with me. But I wanted to get his take on what's going on with our President Trump. Sorry, you guys, I'm trying to scroll and read at the same time and talk. It's just not working out too good, so you're just going to have to bear with me tonight. But, it's just, I got to tell you about a couple comments on this video. One guy, he copied it and put it on his page, and he said, this is so heartbreaking. And then there was a woman that said she took her daughter in, and they tried to force her to get that vaccine for her daughter. And she argued with the doctor, no, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. And every time they'd go in there, he would start pushing her again to get that vaccine. And so she wrote in my comment. She wrote, I ended up avoiding going to the doctor with her anymore. I don't go to that doctor anymore because he wouldn't get off my back. He was really telling me, or when she comes back next time, we're going to give it to her, And I just don't get it. They just figure if they intimidate you enough that you'll give in. So that tells you how badly that they're pushing people to get this. She said the reason she didn't get it is because she read all about it and how everybody's been having all these side effects. All these little girls are becoming crippled and ill and all these problems. And she said that when her son was an infant, that he had gotten a series of vaccines. He was 6 months old, I think she said, and he almost died. And she said that was a close enough call for her, and she was done with those vaccines after that. So, and she even told the doctor that, and he goes, well, we've come a long way since then. Okay, well, like I said, tell him to bend over and let you give it to him first. I just, don't, and so, I wrote to her back and I said, I am so proud of you for not being dumb enough to let your child be poisoned by these people. And I said, and for standing your ground and standing up and telling him no, several times telling him no. And I wonder if he scratches his head now and wonders where that patient went because you never went back. And I wouldn't go back either. So, I'm glad that she wrote her story there so that other people could see how badly he was intimidating her. And, thank God that she was smart enough to say, no, not my daughter. You're not going to do that to my daughter. I just pray to God that this little girl that I saw today recovers from whatever they've done to her. The poor child was just laying in bed in tremendous pain. She couldn't even get up. Her mother was trying to get her up and put a robe on her and just to touch her. Every time her mother touched her body, that child just screamed. So, I don't know what her name is, but let's just keep her in prayer that she heals and gets through this. I don't know. It's just heartbreaking to to see something like that, and all I keep thinking is, God, they're such monsters, and I keep posting and posting and posting the truth about vaccines, and I don't know, everybody just has this, it's all right, it'll never happen to me. I have a girlfriend that her daughter has twin little boys, and she posted taking the boys in to get their shots today, and I was like, oh, my God. Please don't let them get sick, And they did run a fever. She said they ran a fever, but I don't know what she got for them. Every time I see someone saying they're taking their kids in and getting a shot, my heart just sinks. But anyways, I try to make people aware of that, especially that human papillonium virus one. Exactly, Jay. Jay says they're witches and warlocks in white lab coats, and that's exactly what they are. If you go back and listen when I had Dr. Carly on, she quit being a doctor because she didn't want to poison anybody anymore. And they ended up crippling her son with vaccines. That's why she left the medical field, is because they crippled her son with the vaccines. And this is coming right from a medical doctor. And, of course, she's been targeted because she speaks out against them, what they did and everything. So, that's the thing, if you speak out, and which I am doing, a lot of speaking out lately, and my targeting has enhanced, so I'd appreciate it if y'all keep me in your prayers, because it's getting kind of rough here. I keep telling the Lord, if you want me to do your work, you better get me some protection or lift me up and dust me off and send me on my way. But anyways, that's, it's so heartbreaking, And when I don't know, when I saw that they were going to give them to little boys too, and I thought, oh boy, it wasn't bad enough you were preying on the little girls, now you're preying on the little boys. And I don't know if people are taking their sons in. The big cover story for this is, if you get it for them now, you can prevent them from having cancer later on in life. And, and the commercial that they have for it, I had to laugh because it showed a kid, and after he grows up, he gets cancer, and he goes back and yells at his mother, you could have prevented me from getting this if you would have gotten me the HPV vaccine when I was a child. Talk about media brainwashing. Oh no, I lost my screen, you guys. Oh my God. Okay, you're going to have to bear with me because I lost everything. I don't know if you see me logged into the window or not, but it will take me a minute to get back into the window. Oh my God, I lost. Well, see, I told you my targeting. I was doing a show with Steve Thursday, and I got a virus warning sent to me, and my screen froze. We actually had to pause the show. I had to log out, log back in. So hold on. Fight for Our Freedom Radio. Maybe I can get a little help. Oh, that's great. Now, all the articles I had up here that I was going to go over with you, I lost them all. So you're just going to have to bear with me. Oh, my God, I got to sign back in. Oh. This always happens, too, when I do a live show with my own research. I thought I was going to have problems with Marlo tonight because I don't know what they're doing across the street, hammering or something, and he did not like it. Just bear with me, you guys. I'm trying. Oh, God, now it's not accepting my password. All right, I'm back. Let me see if I can open the window. Jesus. All right, I'm back. Yay! This is too bizarre. So I lost my chat room, all my comments. Okay. Did I disappear off the screen there, Jay? I just went to open up a window that I had researched. I spent an hour and a half pulling all these articles up to go over with you, and now they're all gone. You don't think someone's trying to sabotage me, do you? Oh, my God. Talk about Headache City. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight is the, what is it called? The mother of all bombs. What do you guys think about that? I know I saw a lot of comments. Yeah, as long as I am still on the phone, you can still hear me. It's just that I would probably not be in the chat room, and and I have to log back in and everything to get back into it. I had a lot of people on my last show email me and tell me that they were losing their audio and they were being knocked out of my window, which that doesn't surprise me either. It tries to deter people from coming in, But anyways, from what I heard, when they dropped this mother of all bombs, that what they said on the news last night was they know for a fact that 36 ISIS jihads were killed, and they said casualties for civilians were, they didn't feel there were any. I don't know whether there were or not, but, I was thinking when they were talking about that, I was thinking, yeah, if it was Obama, he would have dropped them free Happy Meals. He is being awful quiet. From what I hear, he left the country, but yeah, $16 million, is that what it cost? $16 million for one bomb for 36 people. Wow, that was an expensive deal, eh? Couldn't you imagine what we could do with $16 million for our country? Yeah, he would drop them Happy Meals plus cell phones. Well, it's interesting that you said that because I had talked about an article when he was in office about, I can't remember, it was $7.4 trillion that he gave them to rebuild their mosques over there. And he also put in computers for them and free Wi-Fi. And I thought, well, isn't that just nice? Here we are. It said in the article that their sewer system needed to be rebuilt too. That was another thing that he did. He rebuilt their sewer system. Here, our infrastructure was falling apart. Bridges are crumbling. Our dams are cracking. But he's rebuilding the mosque. What's wrong with this picture? and no one can see that he was a Muslim. He even, there was a couple of videos where he was being interviewed by ABC, and he slips up in that one interview. He says, and the fact that my Muslim faith, and then the interviewer said, "You mean your Christian faith?" And he goes, "Yeah, my Christian faith." He wasn't doing real well with covering his bases. Yeah, and there is a video too that he does a speech in Kenya, and I posted that up on Facebook. He does a speech in Kenya, and he actually says right in the speech that he is not an American citizen, that he was born in Kenya, but the American people knew that they needed fresh blood or something like that. They needed fresh people in the politics or whatever. Like, please, give me a break, you know. But, yeah, I posted that one, too, because, you know, you still get people out there that, oh, he's American, you know, he was one of the best guys. Yeah, he just tripled our deficit. He put more debt in this country than any American president in the history of all our presidents. He put the most debt on our deficit, tripled it. And he just had to write that one last check when he was taking off and going out of the White House on the last day, the day of inauguration. Yeah, he should be arrested. Here's another thing. I had an article here. You know, I'm going to have to go off the top of my head tonight, you guys. I had an article here. I don't know. Did you guys hear about this? That Hillary Clinton had come out of hiding and did a speech and told everybody not to support our president. Now, anybody hear about that? Did you hear about that? Is this true? I'm just wondering because, you know, it just gets me that she would do that because it wasn't 5 minutes after he had won the election, he retracted his statement about arresting her. You know, and he said, I don't want to hurt her. She's, you know, a nice person and, you know, she's been through enough. And I thought, wow, it didn't take him long to backstab everybody on that one. And I'm just wondering if he's still going to be, oh, I don't want to hurt her, when she's coming out and doing speeches telling everybody not to back our president. And John Shorey was on the Jim Baker show the other day, and he had documentation where they're trying to overthrow our government right now, and Obama thinks he's going to come back. So, I'm like, whoa, you know, and he said, never in the history of presidencies has this ever happened, but they feel they're going to be able to accomplish this. I don't know how. I'm sure if they try to do that, there'll be a civil war in this country. I never heard of such nonsense. And how did they think they're going to do it? I don't know. But and he said, let's just spank them both. Oh, you know what? I wish they would get arrested. They have so much criminal activity. I mean, come on, look at the legacy of people that have been murdered in the Clintons. You know, I mean, come on. If it was any of us, we'd be locked up and they throw the key away. How these people get away with this stuff, somebody's getting their palm greased with some money somewhere. So anyways, I'm just wondering, you know, will Donald Trump still be all, oh, I don't want to hurt her, you know, in view of the fact that she's out there giving speeches and telling everybody, you know, not to support him. You know, does he still think she's been through enough? Or maybe he'll retract that, I'm not going to go after her, and pull up his bootstraps and do something. I don't know. Anyways, let's see. I'm so sorry, you guys, that I lost all my I lost all the things I was going to talk about. Oh. Okay. You know, one of the things I wanted to mention was the chemical attack in Syria. It was like all in the news and everything, and all kinds of havoc when it first happened, and now they're like not even hardly talking about it. And then I'm hearing a lot about that it was a false flag attack. So, you know, I don't know, you know, I mean, but I'll tell you one thing, it sure did make Russia do a 160 against us all of a sudden. Is this my cutie patootie?
It is. I am so sorry I'm late to the call. I was on another call. My air conditioning unit went out over here in my studio, and I was calling a friend of mine to have him give me a hand on Monday. I basically know what the problem is. The fan motor went out, so that's got to be changed. And you know, I'll tell you something, sweetie. Everything is a scam and a ripoff. Everything is. I called. Listen to this, and because I was in the business, right? I was in the equipment business, and I was on the restaurant equipment side of it. But I know how it all works, right?
Right.
So listen to this. You know, I called a bunch of different air conditioning companies, and I just wanted to see. Okay, and this was for my curiosity. I wanted to see what they're charging, how they're charging, what they're doing. You know what? You can't get an answer from anybody. They'll tell you, we do charge a $45 service call, but it's all based, you know, and I'll call it, what's the hourly rate? Oh, we can't give you an hourly rate. It's all based on the job. You know what that job is? To charge you 4 times the amount for that specific part that you need for your unit, okay, plus their hourly wage. And they don't want to give you that. You know what my friend just told me while I got off the phone, who's going to be here Monday? That was actually my ex-partner in my business. You know what he says they're charging? Just to change out a fan motor for an air conditioning unit. Now, this is normally, depending on the part itself. In this case, it'd be a fan motor. And depending if it's a half horse, quarter horse, maybe a full horse motor, fan motor. Guess what they're charging, right, for the fan motor? You're going to pay about
around $900 to $1,000.
That's what they're going to charge. The fan motor itself costs about $69, $70.
Yeah.
So they're going to rob.
You don't have to tell me, honey. I just paid $3,000 to have exhaust put on my truck. That should have only cost me about $1,400.
Exactly. Everything is a scam. Everything is a ripoff. Everything is upside down. What has happened to our country? What has happened to the integrity and honesty that we used to live by as Americans? That word, you know, the word American should mean something to people, but now it just means paying a whole bunch of money and for services not rendered. Okay,
exactly.
It is such a scam, and everybody's trying to. It's like you know,
I think
everybody's
they're trying to break the American people.
Yeah,
I mean, they're literally trying to break us, and I'm falling in a sea of debt from, you know, I took my truck in twice. I took it in and they to get a trans fan put on, which should only have cost like $300, and it ended up costing me $900 by the time I walked out the door.
Right, for a $30 part.
I got half a mile from the damn dealership, and my truck broke down again. Had to tow it back and put another $600-700 into it for the fuel filter.
And that's the worst part. The more desperate they get, they think they're going to charge higher and higher prices, and try and recoup their losses because they have less and less work. And the reality is that they're going to end up bankrupting themselves and putting themselves out of business because they're not treating people fairly. But then the reality is that none of these companies are treating anybody fairly. I mean, look at the stock market. It's so it's so falsely inflated by the corporations and by the Fed, who've inflated the market in order to create these false profits. Those aren't really profits. Everything's on paper. So when the whole thing blows up, what does it mean? It means you end up with nothing, and they have all the power. It's a controlled, structured implosion that these monsters, these oligarchs, these banksters, these shadow governments have designed.
What I wanted to talk about tonight was the bank, because I had an article up here about if you take cash out of the bank, that they're calling and reporting you.
Yeah,
anything
over $5,000, and that's been, I think, for the last 5 years. Yeah, if you try to deposit or take out of the bank over $5,000, they want to know what you need it for. Who are these people?
Okay, and if you deposit large amounts of cash, they're reporting you too. Now,
That's exactly right.
I'm going to sell my car and a trailer here, and I'm going to be depositing some large amounts of cash when they sell. So what do I do? I mean, I that's my question. What do I do? Because I'm not allowed to sell my car and deposit $6,000?
That's what they want. They want you in fear. They want you accounted for. They want to know everything that you have in your bank account. They want to know everything about you. Hence the NSA spying on everybody's business. Look, this is Nazi Germany, okay? This is exactly what they did.
Tell me about it.
This is exactly
okay, here's something
what
I got
they
to
did.
tell you. Remember I told you the last time we spoke that somebody came over here at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
They had my dogs going nuts. And Trixie went down and she was barking in the living room, and that is where my electric meter is. And they forced me to take a smart meter years ago.
They
and in
forced
fact,
everybody.
When they put the smart meter on my house, one of the supervisors that came by here actually called me a Manchurian candidate.
Jesus Christmas.
Because he asked me, he said, why don't you just leave your gate open? I said, because there's too much thieving going on around here and harassment. And he goes, oh, you're a Manchurian candidate, huh? And I'm like, and then he wants to give my dog a bone. I go, my dogs aren't here to take treats from strangers. I said, and if you put your hand on this side of the gate and he bites you, I'm not going to be responsible for what happens. And he goes, oh, they're not friendly? I said, didn't I just tell you they're not here to be friendly?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But anyway, I knew that they were out there doing something. Well, I found what they did today. I went to open my basement window, and the screen had been pulled off. So I'm like, what the heck? Somebody pulled the screen off my basement window? So I went out there, and I'm screwing it on, and I look, and you know how when they put an electric meter on the side of your house, they put one of those tags so that if you tamper with it, the tag has to be cut off?
Right.
Well, there was a blue tag with a number on it. When I had the Dish Network guy out there, we were standing 3 feet away from that meter, and that blue tag was on there about a week or so ago. I look, and here the blue tag's laying on the ground, and it had been cut. And I look at the meter, like, oh, there's another tag on the meter. Somebody cut that tag off and threw it down on the ground, and there's a different tag on the meter. So my meter has been tampered with. And now I'm really, the microwave is really, like, amped up. So they must have swapped out meter things or something. I don't know. And then I figured, okay, this is a good one. I figured I'm going to call the Edison Company. I tried calling the Edison Company all day today, and my calls were all interrupted. You know what I kept getting? I kept getting a recording saying, the caller that you were trying to reach is not available at this moment. How
Unreal.
convenient.
Yeah, unreal. Conveniently unreal. It is all, look, like I said earlier, everything is a scam, everything is a hoax, everything is a fraud, starting from, let's just go with 9/11, right? Because we don't have to go back to, 1976, the Gulf of Tonkin, to get us into another war, which led into the Vietnam War anyway, right? Because that was another fraud and a scam. In order to perpetuate this oligarchy, oil to dollar monopoly system. And this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. To keep everybody in check, to keep everybody in line, to keep the elites in their position, and to continue this game of us being the poor folk, the poor peasants, and them keeping themselves in a position of power. This is why governments are in the position they are. And the worst part is we fall into the same trap every time. That we say, okay,
the Jersey girls, the widows of some of the firemen that tried to...
Yes.
So you're familiar with the Jersey girls?
Yes, I am. Go ahead, finish your statement.
Okay, well, the thing is, after 9/11, in order for anybody that lost somebody in the Twin Towers to get any government assistance or help, they had to see a psychiatrist and they had to sign a form saying that they suffered from post-traumatic stress.
Right.
And these women, they didn't want to do it. They didn't go for it. So they spoke out against it. Well, they're all targeted now. You know that.
Oh, yeah. They're all targeted. They're all labeled as crazy. They're all targeted. They're labeled as unstable, non-reliable, bordering on the reality of insanity. Oh, yeah. This is nothing new. These are the tactics they've been using for years and years and years. What do you think the CIA did when, the CIA who came up with the labeling term conspiracy theorists? They're the ones who came up with that term. It was them. Okay? Because people have seen the lights in the sky saying this isn't right, that's not a plane, and a plane doesn't zigzag in the night sky. It doesn't shoot out of our atmosphere at a blink of an eye. Oh, we're all conspiracy theorists. We're all tinfoil hat wearing nuts because we saw something that we can't explain. It is all based on a system of control that these monsters constructed in order to continue their system of control. Period. From UFOs to the JFK assassination to Vietnam, the Gulf of Tonkin, World War I, World War II, to Planet X. They are the controllers of the conspiracy. They are the controllers of the conspiracy, and they call us conspiracy theorists. See, they flip-flop it. They make us look like we are the crazies, when in reality, when your own two lying eyes see something, we're nuts. But the reality is, they're the controllers of the conspiracy. It's sick. It's a sick, twisted world we live in. And how do we deal with this?
You missed my opening story.
I did. I told you, honey. I'm sorry. I missed it.
Okay. Let me tell you what it was. I just posted it, you guys, in the chat. So there's the link. Go ahead and read all about this doctor. This doctor in Detroit, this Muslim woman doctor, was arrested by the FBI for mutilization of 7 to 12-year-old little girl genitals.
I'm looking at it right now. It says female genitalia mutilation, also known as female genital cutting or female circumcision, is internationally recognized as rather barbaric ritual performed, most notably in the Muslim world, with the intent of reducing sexual pleasure in women. The procedure involves the complete removal of the partial removal of the clitoris. It is illegal in the United States and is a major violation of the human rights of women and girls. And now they're performing this sickening thing in the United States. It goes on to say, according to a complaint filed in federal court, I hope I'm not butchering this, Nagarwa, performed the procedure on underage girls, and under of the child victims included girls that were brought in front out of state. Interesting. One 7-year-old girl was brought from Minnesota by her family for a special girls' trip, according to the complainant. The victim told authorities she had to visit Dr. Blah 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 to get the germs out. Oh, nice, get the germs out, huh? The same 7-year-old child reportedly underwent a medical exam on April 11th, during which a doctor noticed her genitalia had been altered or removed. The child was unable to identify Dr. Blah, blah, blah as the person responsible. According to the sworn affidavit of FBI agent Kevin Swanson, the girl's parents told her that the procedure is a secret and that she is not supposed to talk about it. This is just unreal here at this point. To finish this off.
That's the same thing that they did to Kathy O'Brien when they mutilated her.
Right, exactly. Just to finish this out so everybody can hear it verbally. You can read this entire. Okay, never mind. So basically, that is the end of the article. But okay, so now the Islamic Nation is obviously taking over here in the United States through all the immigrated people, okay, who are supposed to be, pro-democracy, pro-life, are supposed to adhere and abide by our ways. Now, I guess we're mutilating girls here in the United States, and, no big deal. I'm sure this doctor won't ever be prosecuted, by the way. And if she is, she'll probably just get a slap on the wrist.
That's what I'm waiting to see. I'm going to watch my news and see what happens, because if nothing happens to her, shame on them, because Livonia is right the next town from Dearborn, and Dearborn is the biggest Muslim community in the United States. Now,
yes.
Dearborn, a lot of people don't know this, but all of the stores in Dearborn have been bought out by the Muslims, and when you drive through Dearborn, you better not get out of your car, because they'll throw rocks at you. And
well,
all the writing on the, like, it'll be Subway. You can't tell it's Subway. It's all written in Islamic,
Right. Because if you don't have any grasp of the Islamic language, which is basically symbols, basically like Chinese or Japanese, if you don't understand the symbols, then you don't know what it means, and you're absolutely right. But my question is this: who the hell gave them the money, okay, to own and buy properties and stores? You think they came here with a bunch of money? Most of those people, okay,
there was a man that did a documentary on it. He was driving around doing a documentary with a reporter on it, and he said a lot of them have 5 or 6 wives. They're mostly all on welfare, and they get a check for each wife.
Right, but that wouldn't even come close to the amount of money you would need to own and operate a business.
Also, you got to understand, another thing that they do is they pay 0 income taxes. They pay 0 income taxes for 3 years. And then
they pay
after
0
3
income
years
tax.
is up, they flip that business into another relative's name and go 3 more years, and so on and so forth.
But they're automatically indentured into that, into the system of the governmental assistance, right? So they get free everything. They get free housing. They get. Say that again.
Don't you think Trump should? I mean, if we got to pay taxes, I don't give a shit that they're new to the country. They should have to pay taxes too.
Well, and you're exactly right. But the problem is, at this point, we're a captured country, and the only way we're going to break out of this is if we revert everything, and Trump has to do it. And I don't know, lately, but watching what's been going on with him, with these missiles that have been launched on Syria, I think he's being manipulated by the deep state because he is entrenched in it, and he has to oust them all. And I don't know how he's going to do it. It's tough. I mean, look, I have my ideas on how I would do things, and it wouldn't be pretty. It would not be pretty. But then again, I'm a different person.
When he got in office, he had a large load to carry, and everybody's coming at him from every single way. He's being attacked by Congress. He's being attacked by his own staff. He's got a rocky road to walk. But
he's got
the thing is, John Shorey was on the Jim Baker show the other day, and he had documentation that he was reading that Hillary Clinton has come out of hiding. I don't know if you've heard about this.
Yeah, and she's running for mayor, huh?
Well, she's giving speeches, and she's telling people not to back our president. And there's also, he said, they're publicly speaking out that they want to overthrow the present administration and bring Obama back in.
That would be a cold day in hell, because that would basically unleash civil war in the United States.
That's exactly what I said.
And that's exactly what will happen. That's exactly what will happen, because I know of many, many, many militia groups who have been, at the ready, and, if that were to happen, holy hell would break loose, and there would be
Story said they're not even trying to hide this.
No, they're not. I mean, this has been for the last, 5 years. I mean, they just basically come out with in the open with everything, with all of it, the takeover of our country. I mean, look at all the crap that, Bush, Clinton, Bush, and Obama have done up until now. We're talking about, 20 years, 30 years of this crap. We've had enough. And that's why everybody's been preparing, and everybody getting, one of the reasons, of course, why everybody has prepared and has gotten ready, because they see where the country has gone, and they're fed up. We're tired of it. So if you ask me, I think we've stayed this off maybe for another 3-4 years, because I hope, because if Hillary would have gotten into office, it would have been all over. It would have been over. I think a civil war had already been started, and we'd be in the midst of a massive killing field right now. So I'm very thankful that has not happened yet. But there's a lot of good men and women in the FBI, and there's a lot of good men and women in the NSA, and I think there's good men and women in in all branches of government who are sick and tired of seeing their country being decimated, by these fascist, communist sociopaths. And we've had it. So it's going to come to a head, and this is what we're looking at. Look, all of a sudden, right, Trump launches these, what are they, Tomahawk missiles, 59 Tomahawk missiles on this deserted Syrian base, right? And it was deserted. Everybody's seen that. I didn't see any chemical weapons destroyed, but yet, the mainstream media is trying to propagate this idea that, all these children and women were attacked by, this gas attack. If that would have been true, all those doctors what's the word I'm looking for? People in service to help all those people who have been injured, they would have all been suffering the same consequences. None of them were masked. None of them had any biosuits on. I mean, the reality is it's another false flag. But did you see the mainstream media's turnaround? The moment he launched these Tomahawks over there to blow up this so-and-so nonsense of gas, sarin gas, that's the word I was looking for. All of a sudden, now the mainstream, now even CNN, good for Trump. We're behind him, right? All of a sudden, now you got the mainstream propaganda media, pushing the agenda. Why? Because they want war. They want war because they know our economy is collapsing. They see it collapsing, and it's collapsing in front of us every day. Where are all the jobs that were promised? Where's the wall? Where's the Obamacare? Is it gone? No, it's not. Trump, unfortunately, is being manipulated by the deep state, the state that he needed to drain, which was the swamp. He hasn't been able to do it because he's surrounded by them. They're like all these little trolls and leeches around him.
I just put up for you. Check this out. I never heard any of this, but have you heard about this? That Russia has the right to attack us now because to bomb us, according to the Pentagon, because of vaccines to stop crimes against children?
Well, this is from Mike Adams, Natural News. He's pretty spot on. It says, twisted. According to bizarre Pentagon logic, Russia can now bomb the U.S. to stop vaccine violence against children. This is interesting. Wow. I don't know what to make of that. But Mike Adams is pretty sharp. I gotta say, I've read his stuff. He's a no-nonsense guy.
The United States isn't the only one that's poisoning the children with vaccines.
Yeah, this is worldwide.
Australia, Canada, they're all doing it.
It's worldwide. This is all generated by the big pharma companies who, have the support of the United States government, which happen to be most of the deep state people who have been put in positions of power in the FDA, the CDC, what is it? What's the other? All the departments. Okay, I can't think of the word right now, but it's all the departments who are these deep state people who have been sitting in those positions for years and years and years, have been paid off by these megalomaniac, pieces of garbage who own these corporations to push their agenda. This is not surprising. So this is what we're fighting. This is what we're up against. They want to continue the game and the agenda as usual, that we stay asleep, we go back into our positions of posture, and they continue to dole out their ideologies, so we continue to follow, their line of events that they've laid out for us. No. This all has to end, and this is what I'm seeing. This is the big push from both sides, from our side and their side. And I can tell you either way, this is going to end badly. It will end badly. There's no question about it. And then everything else on top of that we're facing is beyond crazy. It's monstrous.
Well, I hate to say it, but to me it looks like civil war will break out from all these
and if you remember, BB, if you watched Ed Dame's video, he had said, and this was many years ago, I think it was 2004 when he had made that video, he said that there will be all these warring parties all over the world, and then they're going to look up in the sky, okay? They're going to look up in the sky. Planet. They're going to, he didn't say the planet. He just said they're going to look up in the sky and they're going to see this thing coming. And they're all going to drop their weapons and go home to be with their loved ones. And this is where we're headed right now. We're seeing it all unfold right now. Look what's going on with that sociopath of Kim Jong-un, that other sociopathic nutball. Okay? And I think, you guys can call me crazy if you want. Okay, it's fine. But I have a thought process here that it doesn't matter whether it's our government, North Korea, South Korea, China, Indonesia, Japan, Russia, Australia. They all operate on the same principle level. Keep control of your subjects. Subjugate them as this whole thing falls apart, so we can continue our control system as things implode, explode, whatever, come apart, and then once it's all said and done, just like in the Georgia Guidestones, right? They're in control once again. What's the top headline number one statement in the Georgia Guidestones? Do not let humanity rise above 500 million people. You're talking about wiping out basically 98% of the planet. They know this. They've expected it, and they expected this a long time ago. I think they put the stones up. I think it was, was it 1983 or 1982? Or I might be mistaken about that, but they've known about this a long time. And it always seems like they're always in the position of power, and that's why it always seems like we live on a prison planet, to me. And there's many things that point to those facts, but that's just one of the ones that we can actually look at. Any one of you who live in the Georgia area, in that small town, can go look at the Georgia Guidestones. They're there for you to read. These weren't put up by a group of farmers in the middle of Georgia. These were put up by the elite to tell us what's going to happen and how the outcome is going to be, at least according to them. But in my eyes, I think we have the ability to change it all. But again, I don't know the outcome. I just know I'm passionate about humanity. I'm passionate about seeing everybody thrive and survive, and getting all the information released about what the secret space program, the breakaway civilization, because those bastards, again, have kept that to themselves. Because if we had that technology of which they have kept to themselves, we wouldn't be going through any of this right now. But you know why? They don't want to lose control. That's why they maintain the power and control, even over that information. And here we go again. Look at all the incredible breakthroughs that have been done by independent researchers and engineers and basically self-taught entrepreneurs who created free energy. They've been either bought out. When they didn't want to be bought out, they were suppressed, and when they didn't want to be suppressed, they were killed. This has happened over and over and over again. The time has come. The end has to come. Okay? We can't repeat these same cyclical processes over and over and over and expect something different, because that is what the definition of insanity is. And I'm tired of living in an insane world where it's upside down with insane people who don't know right from wrong. I mean, look at all this nonsense they've created with this transgender ridiculousness. Boys don't know they're boys, girls don't know they're boys, and girls don't know who the hell they are. You got full-grown men who want to act like women. You got full-grown women who want to act like men. I mean, you got transgender bathrooms. Where does this nonsense end? It's beyond stupidity. I'm living in the frickin' Twilight Zone, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I know. I'm sick of it. And I'm sorry, I tend to get a little carried on with this, but I'm passionate about it because it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I think back when I remember when I was a little girl, and I used to sit on the front porch with my grandpa, and we used to eat green onions and sardines and crackers. I know that sounds gross, but
actually it doesn't sound gross because I've had green onions and sardines, and they're actually pretty damn good.
Yeah. So anyway, I remember I'd be sitting out there with my grandpa, and we both had rocking chairs, and we were eating those, and my grandma started wailing in the house about, come and look at Merv. Remember Merv Griffin, the Merv Griffin show?
Oh, yeah.
And she'd say, oh, my God, look at these boys on here. I can't believe it. And it was the Monkees or the Beatles, and she was going on and on and on because, they had long hair.
Right.
Oh, are those boys or are those girls, she'd say. And I thought, and I thought to myself, my grandmother was having a cow over the Monkees or the Beatles' hair being long.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what she'd probably have a stroke if she was alive right now?
Yeah, if you took a look at some of the people who have mutilated their faces and bodies with all these implants and tattooed themselves from head to toe, I mean, you can't.
The LGBT community just had a parade where they were mocking Jesus. They had two men that were strapped to a crucifix, but the crucifix was doubled where their arms were around each other. They were on the same crucifix together, and they were fondling each other and necking.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
lovely.
They were mocking Jesus.
You know what? I can tell you this, from my perspective. You know where I stand on religion, pretty much. You know, here's the reality. You know, Christ was a human. Christ was a being. Okay, I'm not going to use the word human. Okay, I'll take that out. Christ was a being who was here, who came here to teach us certain lessons, to grow, to experience life, and to move forward, to experience the expression of life, love, compassion, and all of it, from dark to light. Okay, and that's the reality of it, because that's why we're here, to experience what it means to be human. You come in as consciousness, you inhabit the container, you are the one who are physically making this container function, okay? Because if your consciousness did not inhabit the container you exist in right now, it would be basically a lifeless biological automaton, all right? So you make it function. But here's the thing. You get to choose, okay, freedom of choice on how you experience this existence in this container. It's all choice. There are no restrictions. There are only choices. So if you choose to act like an idiot, a moron, a despicable, a murderer, a violent sociopath, a passion for deceit, a passion for greed, that's what you chose to experience. That is your karma. And you understand, karma is exactly that. You are making that karma happen, and once how do I explain this? Once you put that forward, you're going to have to face that tenfold, okay? You're going to have to, if you want to call it meet your maker, you could use that term, but I look at it as this, that you only face yourself. There is no judge and juror except yourself, because there's a larger expression to this, okay? And I know that this is, you guys kind of tend to look at this a little differently coming from the religious belief system, but there are many multiples of each other. I think I talked about this once before with you, BB, about being, a whole, but as a separate, as each cell splits, you are individuals, but yes, you are one. And this is the thing, is that you are basically facing yourself on the other side, and you are your own judge and juror. So you have to understand, if you harm someone else, you're going to have to face that harm. You're going to have to experience it. You're going to have to face it, okay, to learn. If you gave love to somebody else and just beautiful thoughts and love and kindness and showed kindness, you will reciprocate the same thing. So all these monsters, okay, and they are monsters, all these monsters who are doing all these sick things, you have to understand, are very low-level consciousness or higher conscious super. Well, I wouldn't call them higher. That's the wrong word. Just conscious beings inhabiting these containers, which we call human bodies, okay, who know nothing, who are basically like childlike savages trying to take everything from anybody they can. Think about a child. Think about a child that you've known who has never been taught the proper etiquette of life, who basically, let's say, misled or uneducated by their parents. How do they behave? They're screaming all the time. Everything that they see they want. They break out in tantrums. They're irrational. They don't have any rational thoughts, and you try and teach them this, right? But if the parents don't know any better, then that is the product that basically grows up to be that tenfold, because the parents didn't have that education. So it's kind of like that. So this is what we face. We've got a bunch of sick, psychopathic
I
monsters.
keep getting knocked out of my window, but and I imagine it's because the link I just put up. Take a look at this link.
Is it the last one you just put up?
Yeah, I mean, I put a couple more up earlier, but I keep getting knocked out. But this one here has most of, and this is what they're doing. These pictures.
Is this the Google photos that I'm looking at right now? Okay.
Yep. And this is what they're doing, and they're fixated on the cross.
Unreal. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Insane.
You know, I pity them, and boy, you know what? When they stand before the Lord, will have mercy.
You know what? What you got to do is send these people love. You know, you got to send them love, because they don't know what love is. They've never experienced love. All they've experienced is probably hate, fear, and trauma in their lives. It's unfortunate. It really is. I mean, look at this photograph with Christ holding his, he's got his thumb up and holding a gun in the other hand. I mean, it's just insane.
I know.
It's insane.
Don't these people have anything better to do?
I don't know if they have any idea what better is, to tell you the truth. I think they're so lost in, again, the minutia of what has been created, because they've been so brainwashed they don't even realize that they've been brainwashed. That's probably one of the biggest issues. Is how do you if you've been watching the box your whole life, right, and took every word that was said from programs and news programs, which are not news programs, they're basically they're infomercials for the system of control. If you can't see that this is a lie, you can't see that this isn't really reality, how could you possibly know what reality is? And this is what we're facing with most of these people. Probably, I'm going to say 50%, okay? I'll just go with that. So this is what we're facing, and that's just the United States. So what about the rest of the world? Well, they've been infected with this infiltration of their control system through television. So look at all of us who are awake, who snapped out of our dream state and said, "There's something seriously wrong here." Okay, and there was enough of us to vote Donald Trump in, and hopefully he has not been captured by the deep state. I really hope he hasn't been captured by them, or just basically basically had his hands tied behind his back so he can't really do anything. And I'm kind of thinking this is what I'm seeing, but I can't say that for sure. All right? But look at how many people have been captured worldwide by this insane nonsense that this and they use this word liberal. This is not liberal. This has nothing to do with liberalism. This has to do with captured people, brainwashed into a system of, again, control.
They're unemployed and they're idiots in delusion that are funded by George Soros, and I have to agree with him.
Yeah, no. But who's behind Soros? It's the Rothschilds. They're the ones who captured the system long, long ago. They're the ones who really control the money game.
Me is that they're doing this out in public on our streets where our children are seeing this.
Exactly. So what does it come down to? It comes down to us stepping up and saying enough is enough, or do we just cower and walk away and say, well, I'm not going to be the one to deal with this? That's what it really comes down to.
You couldn't pay me to take any of my children to the beach right now because of the things, the photos that I see on Facebook. I'll give you a perfect example. Well, first of all, most of the women are walking around with just little pasties on their nipples and a G-string up their butt. You know, I mean, I wouldn't want my grandchildren to see that, you know.
Right, but remember, they call themselves liberals, but they don't know what it means because they've been brainwashed by the box to believe that what they're doing is just fine. That's the problem.
Yeah,
when we see the other side of it.
Here's the one that really got me the other day. The new, well, I can't even explain what, if you want to call this a bathing suit for men, was a knitted sock that just went over the penis and the ball sack.
Nice. Real nice.
And then this old man, I'd say he was in his 70s, was walking around drinking a beer, and that's all he had on was this knitted sock over that area. And,
nice.
and you could see kids sitting there on the beach in front of him who are making sandcastles.
Yeah, and then that's where that whole pedophilia thing comes into play here. I mean, it's being exposed more and more and more. But that's part of their agenda. They're to propagate the idea that having sex with a 10-year-old is just perfectly normal. It's fine. I don't know. I mean, this is so sick and twisted.
That's why I'm calling tonight's show. What in the world? What in the wild, wild, wacky world is going on?
Yeah, what in the wild, wild, wacky world is going on? And this is exactly right. I mean, I mean, look at everybody's YouTube's being demonetized, right? To try and mitigate all the information that's being pushed forward by all the people who have enough smarts to say, hey, this is sick and this is wrong. I mean, again, it's all coming to a point, B. It's all coming to a point, coming to a head, and it's not far away now, I'm telling you. Did you happen to catch Scott's video he put up today on Planet X 2016? Did you look at that?
No,
yeah,
I didn't. Tell us about it.
Well, I'm gonna lay it out for you. Scott went out today. He basically laid it out. He went out early in the morning. Skies were clear, so he put his
Is that where he had the pink sky?
No,
he had the filter over it. It was pink.
Right, he has a filter, which is a red filter. It's a laser red filter.
Go ahead and describe it. I'm going to pull that up.
Okay, well, anyway, he put the video up today, early in the morning. He was out, he said, for a couple hours, and put the red filter up, the red laser filter up, and boom, there it was, clear as day, 2 suns. And we're not talking a little dot. We're talking about a very large object now, which means it's very close, okay? And it's getting ready to make its elliptical orbit, around the sun. And then, I'm thinking maybe September, October is going to roll itself out. But as this all happens and as all these volcanoes are going off and the earthquakes are shaking the planet, and of course they're not being, now a lot of them aren't even being reported, by the way. It was as clear as day. There was our sun, and there was the other, whether Scott says, you know what, I don't know if it's the brown dwarf, I don't know if it's Nibiru, But of course, he's going to do an interview with the physicist that he's been talking to with that Chris Potter brought on board quite a while ago with all the white papers that she's been publishing. And I'm telling you, this is what I've been seeing all over and being posted by so many people, and this is what we're getting ready to face. We've reached the peak, the pinnacle, the top, the point. Okay, everything's gone crazy worldwide. We got crazy, insane wars going on.
Yeah.
We've got pedophilia. We got transgenderism. We've got no jobs. We've got a market which is just bizarre and off the charts, off the top, being bought and propagated by the Federal Reserve. We've got the EU, which is falling apart, and yet their market is just doing, it's just dead. Everybody's happy. It's fine because everything is being propped up. This is the final. This is the final act of the play.
Final countdown. I did put the link up for Scott's page, everybody. There's one. Go ahead and scroll down. It's the second thing on the page with what we're talking about. But if you go even farther down on his page, right next to his friends list, he sent me this the other day. These pictures that are up right next to his friends list, you can actually see the red orb, and that was posted on April 11th. And he sent that to me in a private message, and he said, this was taken from the NASA's space station.
Yeah, not even that one. I'm talking about what he put up today.
I got the one that he put up today. Can you click on that link that I just posted?
Oh, is it on the Facebook link?
No, just it's in the chat room. See, it says facebook.com Scott1196.
Yeah. Well, it just says Facebook. That's why I asked.
Yeah, go ahead and click on that, and then scroll down.
Okay. Okay. Well, he's got. Yeah, I saw that one the other day. I'm talking.
Okay, now keep scrolling and go down past. Let's see. You got to go down past 5 or 6 of them. Past the one where he's by the motorcycle. Keep going. You passed the motorcycle twice.
Okay, hold on. Still going. I'm still working on this one.
It says Scott C1 added 2 new photos, and it says we're F-U-C-K. And it was posted April 11th.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to just hold on 1 second. Just let me do this real quick. I'm going to email this to you so then you can put this up because this is what I'm talking about because I didn't see it.
Oh, here we go. Wait a minute. I can get it this way. Hold on. This way everybody will get to see it because this was actually taken. Now let me see if you can I clicked right on the photo. All right. See if that works.
Okay, hold on. Let me do this.
Yeah,
copy.
That works.
Okay.
Click on the link I just posted.
All right,
Everybody
hold on.
click on that link.
I'm sending you this, and hopefully it'll be the same. Let's see, paste.
Now that red orb was taken 2 days ago from NASA's space station.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find your email. Hold on. Badbaby.
There's 2 of them. I'll post them both.
All right, hold on. Oh, what is it? What's the beginning letter of your email? Because I can't remember right now. Is it?
What are you sending me?
I'm sending you the most recent thing.
The pink one?
No. Hold on a minute. I know what's in. Hold on a minute. I got this. Hold on a second. I got this.
Can't you just cut and paste it and put it in the window?
Hold on.
Are you logged into the window?
Hold on. Let me try doing that. That's a good idea. Okay.
Because then that way everybody can click on it.
There we go. Okay. I just sent. There it is. This is what you got to watch right here. This is what everybody's going to watch. Now look at it. See what I'm talking about? You opened it up?
Yeah, I'm opening it right now.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about. And this is what everybody's been seeing worldwide. And now finally Scott's got it. He nailed it. He was out on the right day, and there it was. This is what it's all about right here.
Yeah, I just posted that picture.
Okay, because you said pink.
Well, the screen is pink.
Hold on. It says, sorry, this content isn't available right now. Facebook.
Hold on.
What you just posted. Oh, man.
You know, they're really, really, I mean, when I first started to show up tonight, they knocked me out of the window, and I had, for like 2 hours, I had all these articles I was going to talk about, and everything disappeared, everything. And I had to sit here like, and then you were here.
But anyway, that's it. That's the sector. You see the two suns, or sun, planet, whatever you want to call it. It's not a lens flare. It's not an aberration. It is not an anomaly. That's it. That's what I've been looking at from many, many other people worldwide. And now Scott finally nailed it, and now he's going to have an interview set up with his with the physicist he's been talking to, that Chris Potter brought into this whole mix. And she's totally on board.
Again.
Oh, damn.
I got it. I'm not in the window, you guys, so I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Well, anyway.
I had a whole bunch of articles pulled up here. Everything's gone again.
Jesus. Oh, man.
Fight for our freedom radio. Fight for our freedom radio.
So anyway, hey, guys, what I put up there, that's the video that Scott put up, and he put it up today. And if you just look at the video, that's all you have to do is look at the video. You don't have to listen to the audio. Just look at what he posted. Bottom line, it's there. There's the Nibiru system, the destroyer, whatever the hell you want to call it. There's, at this point, there's what, a half a dozen names for it. The reality is, it's here. This is why we're seeing everything happening all over the planet. I talked about this last time we were on the show. Look at the mass fish die-off that's taking place worldwide. And sure, you could attribute some of that to, chemical spills and, the water having algae blooms that kill these fish. But why would these things be happening worldwide? They wouldn't, okay? You could attribute probably a small part of that. The reality is this is happening all over the world. It's not just happening in one part of the world, and it's not happening successively in that same part of the world. That means that everything, wouldn't have changed, but this is worldwide. So if we understand that the physical, poles now, the wobble, okay, north and south, has shifted by 1,700 miles, okay? Their magnetics, the animal life on this planet, meaning mammal and fish, their magnetics are off kilter. They don't know where they're going. Okay? Their whales are beaching themselves all over the place. And by the way, there's been massive animal attacks
I'm going to check that list
all over the planet as well.
Animal die-off list.
It's huge.
Let me check it out.
It's huge. Now, here's another thing. Why has China built all these ghost cities? And China was smart, okay? They made a whole bunch of money off the whole world by selling cheap products to everybody and exporting it out, right? Meanwhile, while they were doing that, they were building all these ghost cities. And I'm not talking about one or two. We're talking about dozens and dozens and dozens of these ghost cities, okay? All empty. Nobody living in them. They're all well maintained, and they continue to build them. Why do you think that is? Ask yourselves that. Why?
Here we go. Hold on for a second.
Okay.
April 4th, 100 tons of fish suddenly die in fish farm in Indonesia.
Exactly.
April 4th, thousands of birds are dying in Atlanta in America. April 1st, 38 dolphins found washed up on a river in South Africa. 31st of March, thousands of fish and shrimp dead in the waters of Indonesia. The 30th of March, tons of dead fish washing up every day along a river in Cambodia. The 27th of March, 1 million birds killed since January due to Asian flu in Taiwan. The 27th of March, 18,000 birds killed of avian flu in Georgia in America. Now, I didn't hear anything about that. Did you?
No, I didn't. Exactly. And here you go.
18,000 birds died in Georgia, and nobody said anything on our news? What's
well,
up
you
with
know,
that?
but that's our media, you know. They're not going to report on things that are important. They're only going to report on things that they want you to hear. You know that. It's all a system of control. Here you go, 5.7 magnitude earthquake, filmed underwater off the Philippines. Flooding, landslides, and power outages. Cyclone Cook wreaks havoc in New Zealand, right? Rare tornado filmed at Lake Louise ski resort in Alberta. And here you go, more attacks. Diver killed by shark off the coast of South Africa. Researchers to study dead right whale found in Cape Cod Bay. Elephant kills Mount in Tamil Nadu, India. And on and on and on it goes. But you ever hear these things reported in mainstream media? Of course not.
You know what? Even, I mean, mostly we've been hearing dead fish and dead birds. 270,000 chickens died in Japan from avian flu. But get this, thousands of monkeys are dead in Brazil from disease. Unprecedented, they said.
Absolutely. And I read the same article. And here's some more updates for you. And let's see if you guys are getting all this. If you're letting it all sink in, all of you, to understand what's happening. Volcanic eruption update. Strong phreatic eruption in Lahar at Poza Volcano, Costa Rica, right? This is just new volcanic eruption. And what about these? Strange loud siren sounds recorded in Monument, Colorado. Now here come the strange sounds again, which never went away, okay? They're being heard worldwide. A landslide never comes alone. The exact moment parts of a mountain collapses and destroys a road in Ecuador, and it destroyed more than just a road, by the way. And here we go. This halos being seen worldwide, which I saw one yesterday, as a matter of fact, here in Phoenix. Like a gate to another dimension, eerie, sundog, baffle skywatchers in northern Russia. Yeah, right.
Can you copy and paste that up in the window for any of the guests that are in there if they want to click on that link and look at it themselves?
Absolutely. And by the way, you'll see a little blue dot next to the sun. So let me Let me copy and paste that one.
I also put the animal die-off list up there, people. So if you want to click on that link, you can look at that yourself, because I have touched on a few of them.
So here's the reality, right? It's all here. So we have, and this was all planned by these monsters. They had their way with the people, with the children. Let's not say people, with the children. They've had their way all these years with the children. They're destroying the monetary system. Okay, they're collapsing the economies worldwide. Look at Venezuela. I'm sure all you guys are well aware of what's been going on in Venezuela. What now for the last, I'm going to say 8 months. Those people are completely destitute. By the way, 1 ounce of silver in Venezuela right now would buy you 6 months worth of food. 1 ounce of gold in Venezuela right now would probably buy you 4 years worth of food. This is how bad it is. This is corruption worldwide, okay? And it's the system of control that they've created. And this is all due on oil and energy. This is all it's based on, the whole thing. That's why they've suppressed all the crucial technology in regards to free energy. Because guess what? If we had free energy, we wouldn't need any of these leeches. And what are leeches? These are small little type insects that leech onto the human body and slowly drain you of your blood. That's what they are. Politics. Poly and ticks. That's 2 words. Poly meaning many, and ticks meaning another. Blood-sucking a little leech which latches onto your body and begins to drain the blood out of your system until they almost pop, by the way. So this is what the system is built on. This is how it's contrived, and this is how it's continued on. To keep the masses asleep, they've used what? Hypnosis. What is the hypnotic thing that everybody is latched onto? The almighty box. Okay, and that's the all-seeing eye, by the way, which is probably in your your cable boxes or your DVRs or what is it, DirecTV and Dish, where they have the little cameras in there, which they tend to spy on you, even when your TV's off. So they have a total control system grid over the whole planet, and how do we break out of it? I don't know. But I'll tell you something, the great rectifier, the great equalizer, is in our sky now. And it is going to rectify everything. It's going to justify everything. And I personally believe that all of us who are in awareness, because we are here at this specific moment in time, because we chose to come here at this time, are going to be the ones to help everybody in great need. And you know what? And you may not believe this, but those same monsters out there, the low-level materialistic, manipulating controllers of the system, they're the ones who at one point will be begging you for help. And you know what? You'll give it to them. You know why? Because you're kind, caring, loving, and human.
Well, I hope
I know that's hard to swallow. I know that's hard to swallow. I know that's hard to swallow. But you know why? Because we are above them. We are far above them. Spiritually, mentally, and physically, we are far above them. They don't know what it means to love. They don't know what it means to care. They don't know what it means to give care. They don't know how to be kind to another human being. They don't know any of these things. They don't know it. Their whole life has been about control and manipulation, deceit, lies, and being completely unaware. They know how to dig.
That's what they're doing to me. I don't know what they did with my electric meter, but I swear to God, they're cooking me. They're cooking
I know.
me. I might not make it for the planet to swing around.
Oh, you only got a few, well, let's see where we're at. April, May, June, July, August. So you got 5 months to go. So don't sweat
I know. And what, as bad as they have done me since they've messed with that electric meter, I could barely make it to my mailbox today.
Oh, I know, and I can hear how bad they're corrupting the lines, trying to break it all up right now because you keep cutting in and out. But it's not going to make a difference because, you see, here's the thing.
I must have been kicked out of my own window 5 times tonight.
Yeah, right? And, well, there's something new, right? There's something new. And this is what I keep telling them. They just don't get it because they're so dense. They're so dense. They're so low-level, controlled morons that they just don't get it. You think you got your pass to this underground, golden ticket city? Let me tell you something. As soon as the earth starts to shift, you're going to be entombed in your own grave. How many times do I have to say it? You're going to find yourselves trapped like rats. You better wake up, and you better
and
get
that's
right.
going to be the day that they're going to have to answer for the evil that they're doing now.
And damn right. You know, they're going to have to answer themselves. That's the worst part. And they're going to have to answer to the people they've hurt. That's who they're going to have to answer to, every last one of them. And they just don't get it. They don't get it. Oh, but they will. Believe me, when it comes. Oh, yeah. I'm just waiting for the day. I mean, I'm just really, and it's not funny, but it is kind of funny because I'm just waiting for the day when they come banging on the door going, oh, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. We didn't mean to do it. We didn't mean, but we didn't have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice in everything you do. That's what your existence is here for, choice, to do the right thing, to help others, to love others. You had a choice. Okay? They did the same thing to Noah, by the way, if you recall.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They did the same thing to Noah, and Noah said, you know what, the hell with you, man. I'm locking the door. Sorry. No vacancy. So
yep.
That's the bottom line. That's what it comes down to. Either you do the right thing or you don't. And you know what? If you don't, how's the old saying going? If you don't do the right thing, you're doomed to repeat it. And that's what happens. So you want to stay in third grade, for the rest of existence, by all means, please go ahead. But I'd like to move on to fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, so on and so forth. Doesn't mean I'm not going to screw up. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be perfect because there's no such thing as perfection. Okay?
No.
But what it does mean is learning. Consciousness learns. It hopefully learns from its mistakes eventually.
Hey, here's something else that I had pulled up that I remembered that I lost it. Do you know that they finally made it against the law over there in Asia and all them countries where they cook and kill dogs? They outlawed it finally.
Thank God. Well,
yeah.
In Venezuela, they're eating the zoo animals because they have no food. So
right. Yeah, I had heard that and the thing is, Jim Baker tried to ship a bunch of food over there, and
they said no.
To one of the pastors over there, that one of the pastors in the church the guy that they were talking to had just passed away from starvation, and they said, what can we do? And he was so happy that they were going to ship all this food over there, and
right.
Don't you know the government stepped in and blocked them from shipping
Of
it.
course. You can't be shipping food to people who are starving. No. That's not the way things work. Not in our twisted upside down world. Sorry, you can't do it. Come on. I mean, if it isn't obvious to everybody by now, then it never will be. The whole world is twisted upside down, backwards and forwards. Okay?
Next Friday, Robert, I will be having Scott C1 on, and we will be we'll be streaming live and taking calls. So anybody that wants to call in and talk to Scott or ask him any questions, we'll be out here live next Friday night.
Well, I'll call in. I love talking to Scott. He and I always hit it off every time. But that's the reality. You, everyone listening to this program and everyone listening to other programs like this are all like-minded. We know what's coming. This is the reality.
Right.
And you know what? You can face it any way you want, but if you choose to face it with open arms, with a pure heart, you know what? You got nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. And, like I said, I know this is a little controversial for a lot of people, but my friends upstairs, you know what I'm talking about. My friends upstairs says, look, and this has been said by many other contactees, by the way, through their connections from their friends. They said, we will pick the wheat from the chaff. And they use those biblical type words because they think we're still morons, and for the most part, we probably are. But they use those biblical type words to make us understand.
The Friday after that, then I will have Steve Olson on, and we'll be taking calls. We'll be streaming live and taking calls. And then the first, that'll be the last Friday of this month. And then the first Friday of May, I will have David Mead back.
Oh, yeah, David. He's great. He's terrific. But, that's the reality, Wheat from the chaff, don't worry about it. We're all wheat, in my opinion. We're all wheat. So don't sweat it. It's all good. Life, and life always goes on. I mean, consciousness, and that's what I mean by life, is consciousness always goes on. Your consciousness is your own. That's what makes this body function. You come in, you walk out of it, you move on to your next experience. But don't sweat it. You know what? We all chose to be here for this experience, which is a good thing because it's all about learning, at least for us who are wanting to experience a new reality of consciousness and physical existence, because it is all part of the teaching. Wrong word. It's all part of the experience of consciousness. This is what it's all about. So it's, I welcome it. I fear nothing. It doesn't matter. All of you, don't fear any of this, because it is just part of a process. It really is.
That's true. And the thing is, I know we're walking around like we're in the twilight zone right now with all the terrible things that are happening. But we just got to know that, the planet is going to be cleansed. And all this evil is going to be gone.
Well, you know what? If it is, and I believe that is a third, heavy, dense planet, third dimensional. We all came here because, lessons to learn. We chose to come here because of that, and we all had a lesson to learn, or we all came here to help others learn a lesson. And remember the old adage, the student becomes a teacher and the teacher becomes a student. It works both ways, vice versa. They certainly taught us a lot of things, haven't they? They taught us how evil they can be, how violent and cruel they can be, how dishonest and dissuasive they can be. And what have we been trying to teach them? We've been trying to teach them love and harmony and peace and nonviolence, right? So here it is, the clash of the yin and yang, the light and dark. What I had talked about.
Teaching me the meaning of abuse and torture.
Right. Well, think about it. You go back to Christ. He tried to teach them many things, and what did he get for his kindness? He got beaten. He got crucified. He had thorn crowns on his head, bleeding, and even after all that, he says, "Forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they do." Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, aren't we saying the same thing? Forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they do. We're all doing the same thing. So we've learned that lesson. We're just here to teach or bring that, message forward, to wake people up. Wake up. You know what? Quit beating each other up. Quit manipulating people. Quit stomping on people. Give your heart. Give your heart. Don't give your sword. Give your heart. Be a person of honor.
You know what? Will you tell me what I've done for them to torture me like this? I haven't done anything but come out here and try to inform the people of the truth that's going on in this world.
That's what you did. You told the truth. That's all you had to do was tell the truth. That's all Christ did, right? He told the truth. Oh, the church, the manipulators, the liars, the controllers, the monarchs, the governments, they didn't like that. He told the truth. That's all you're doing is telling the truth. I got beaten the same way, just as you get beaten all the time, and everybody else is doing the same thing, get beaten all the time. You simply open your mouth and tell the truth. Oh, that's a no-no. No, you can't have people awakened. You can't have people knowing the truth, because the moment people figure out the truth, their whole system falls apart, and that's what they fear, the system falling apart. They want to keep their control. They want to keep their construct. They want to keep you swallowing the red pill. That's it. Or was it the blue pill? I don't remember.
I never did fit in their pattern right from grade school up. You know.
No, none of us did. None of us did. None of us. You know, you try and give a hand out, and once you realize that it gets bitten, when you put your hand out, you pull it back, don't you? So we try our best in our own way to make people aware of what's happening. And like I said last time, I think we've reached, pinnacle of awareness. And if we're at 5%, at 500 million or 700 million, whatever it is, okay, we're at 5%, hey, you know what, we're doing great. We won the Revolutionary, the Revolutionary War was won by less than 3% of the population. So I think we're doing pretty damn good. I really do. I mean, 5% is better than 3%, and that's on a worldwide scale, so we're okay. Let's just hope that when this is all said and done, and the catastrophic events that take place, that we wake up to a new world, a world of love and peace, and hopefully, by the help from our friends upstairs, an advanced civilization that they will help us build. That's my hope.
Okie dokie. Me too. I want us to stop hurting the children. I want us to stop hurting each other.
Exactly.
Just get along. No more wars. No more dead people. No more mothers crying for their dead sons.
Absolutely.
Let's just stop all this nonsense.
And it is nonsense. You got it. You nailed it. It's nothing but pure nonsense. But this is what they want to continue. Why have we seen the ramp up in the warmongering strategies of our government, other governments? This is what they want. They all collude together. You think this just happens by chance? It never happens by chance. These people all talk to each other. They all talk to each other. They all pre-plan what's going to happen. This is not by chance. This is what has to end. The collusion of the control from the controlists. They're the ones who want to maintain the status quo. This is what has to end. Over and over I say this. If we don't end this, it will all end badly, unfortunately. But again, there's the other side of it, which I think personally, we're all going to come out on this, the other side, much better off, because we will be free, period. We will be free. No more monarchs, no more dictatorships, no more oligarchs, no more monopolies. We will be free. What we grow, what we produce, we share with others in kindness and love. And hopefully they will all do the same without a system of manipulation all over again. This is my hopes for the planet. But then, I guess we'll wait and see. I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist in that sense. But I do have hope for all of us. I really do.
Well, we've done it again, honey. We're up on the end of the show here.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yep. You're having fun.
I never look at the time, and I'm like, oh, wow, I thought we were all on the radio for a half hour.
Nope.
That's what it felt like.
The midnight hour.
Oh, wow.
The midnight hour. And you know what? You know why it goes by so fast? Because all we do is talk about the Twilight Zone, and when you're in the Twilight Zone, time doesn't exist.
You nailed it. Well, the reality is time doesn't exist. It's just a linear. It's a linear propagation mitigated by the so-called scientific community to keep us in that linear fashion of thought. Well, time doesn't exist. It really doesn't. It's just it's a man-made thing.
Well,
that's all.
I'm going to close out for tonight then, everybody, and make sure you come back. Like I said, we'll be out here next Friday live streaming with Scott and taking calls and questions or whatever, and hopefully he'll have some new information for us, and, then we're going to have Steve on the next week, and then after that, David Mead. So and I've also contacted Gil Bazard, and hopefully he said he would, after the end of the month, he would possibly come back on and do another show with me. I got to get back a hold of him the 1st of May and see if we can get him back out here. If I'm still alive, everybody.
Oh, you'll be alive. You'll be alive. Stop it. I'm looking forward to all those guests, as I always do. Man, they're just bright, intelligent people.
That's why they call me Badbaby.